Hey, everybody, and welcome to Superheroes Speak. I am your host, Dave,
And I'm the other host, Don.
or as some people call me, Dr. Doom. Sorry, it's just one of my new shirts.
Yeah.
All right, here we are on this Martin Luther King Day. Yes, we're a day late. We'll see if anyone watches us live tonight.
Yeah, we didn't want to compete with the NFL playoffs, so
Exactly. Yes. Everyone is so concerned with the playoffs. All of our fans are big football fans. Anyway,
of course.
what are we talking about tonight? We got a little bit of brand new day news, rumors about the movie. Then of course we've got some actors confirmed they're not in Doomsday. Once you hear who it is, you'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. A little bit of Batman news for the DCU. Disappointing news. And of course, the big story that I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to talk about. It's official. We talked about it before, but it didn't happen. Now it did happen. Kathleen Kennedy is out. Well, she's not in charge anymore over at LucasFilms. So, and we'll talk about that and what does it possibly mean for the future of Star Wars. But all that being said, all those wonderful topics to talk about. How are you, sir?
Well, it's cold here. In fact, it's so cold that, of course, I'm wearing a hat like this inside, looking like I belong on a Cypress Hill video, or I was trying to do some sort of Tim Pool impressions. But
oh, that's it. You're the new Tim Pool. You're Don Pool.
Yeah, Don Pool. Yeah, I've thought of that before. But it could be a recurring character maybe here in the future. Outside of that, though, again, it's so cold, all that. Plus, they've already called off school for our kids, and that was actually like 2 hours ago, and it's currently 8:30 p.m. the day before. So that's fun. I don't have to get up as early as I normally would, so I'm going to play some video games and enjoy that tonight. So, yeah, and then we did our my Star Wars tabletop game for the first time since like October, which was super fun. We had a new player, and since it was our first time back in a while and we had a new player, I'm like, you just made sure there was just a plethora of elements they could kind of enjoy and work through, and they did, and I think we all had fun, so that was cool. So doing pretty good with all that. What about you, Dave? See, we have the brick wall back here.
It's jury rigged up. I actually bought material to create a new backdrop, but I didn't get a chance to work on it this week because I just bought the stuff Thursday and then was busy the rest of the weekend. So yes, I have plans to redo the backdrop. That's all in the works. It's up for now, the old backdrop, and yes, we'll leave it at that. We have the Jason Sandberg watching us tonight, and he says, "Is it true? Our long national nightmare is over. KK is leaving." Yes, we will get into that in a little bit here. So thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for all that good news coming, or bad news, depending on your point of view. But
point
yeah, no. I was thinking, all right, and it's not a great way to start a show, me thinking, but I'm in a mood, and I feel like,
oh boy, okay,
we could make this show bigger by getting a protest group together and going to a church during their services and interrupting it and live streaming that. Then everyone will know who we are. What do you think? Is that a good idea?
it'll probably grow the show, sure. But cancer tries to grow before it kills you. So yeah, I don't think it's subject matter that I would have passion in. So it would be a cheap.
I saw the news, and it really bugged me on so many levels. For those who are unaware, with the ongoing conflicts, we'll say, in Minnesota, over immigration law, there was a protest group that stormed into a church during their services and basically confronted the members of the congregation. That's the word I was looking for, and the pastor and all. It was a non-denominational church, so it wasn't like a Catholic or Protestant or whatever. Regardless, that's not important. And one of the people involved with this was former CNN host Don Lemon, who was trying to interview the pastor and walking around and trying to talk to people, and they're saying get out, we're having services, and
right, yeah.
Long story short, it's a crime what they did. It's against the FACE Act. You're not allowed to do that. It's not a freedom of speech issue. It's actually a crime. But it just was I can't imagine if I was at mass and a bunch of protesters broke into the church, how I would react. I don't know if I would sit there calmly while they were doing that. I think, I don't know, it would be interesting. So yeah, it really bothered me. And then of course
I was not aware of that, Dave. And I can certainly understand why that bothers you, because as somebody that, I don't go to church regularly right now, but I've certainly done that. And I just don't understand what's the leap between church and illegal immigration or immigration. I'm not making
the church
I don't understand.
Kind of tied to ICE, and that's why these people went in there. But
oh, I got you. Okay, but yeah, either way, that's that's really dumb. You can't you're gonna get charged criminally.
They're free to stand outside the church and protest, but you're not allowed to,
think of what's happened in the past with churches with a mass shooting that happened. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I will say that there are churches with people that are there armed, because of stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So I'm glad that wasn't the case. Because that, everybody's real jumpy right now, and why anyone would seek confrontation with anyone else right now is that's real weird. And that's all they're doing is they're seeking confrontation, of course, to monetize it.
Well, and to they feel like, oh, that gets their cause out there.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I'm sure if we went and saw Liefeld at a signing or something, and was we could do that.
Yes. Wait a minute. We're gonna get an anti-Liefeld. Okay, we're gonna get an anti-Liefeld protest group going. If you are so against badly drawn feet,
right?
Join us.
Heroes need feet. Heroes need feet.
and then at all Comic-Cons we can protest them. That's it. There we go. That is the plan.
There you go.
We're solving all the world's problems now. But
you've already got a Don, so
exactly.
Don, so we're halfway there.
And we can all suck on lemons. All right. Rant over. I had to get that off my chest. Other than that nonsense, not much going on this week. Like I said, I got the stuff to redo the backdrop, and just work is work, and having a girlfriend with an emotionally unstable girlfriend is annoying at times. Oh wait, was that out loud? Uh,
It was, but you know, you're not alone, sir.
I know. You could say that about all women.
This is where you can go to get away from that.
Exactly. Come join
Gentlemen,
us
here at Superhero Speak.
Yes,
right?
exactly. There's no women here because look at us.
Right. No chance. Except for the ones Dave's interviewed in the past.
Well, yes, but they think I'm a.
But even then.
Anyway,
all right. Count John. Oh no, I'm just kidding.
We won't get into that. Kidding. All right. Oh, that's enough of that nonsense. Why don't we have more nonsense by having our good friend Dark Don come and tell us where you can find more Superhero Speak.
Darth Don here. You must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated gundog named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
You know, we need to do a new one for 2026.
I do, yeah, no, I do, and I've been thinking of like lines and stuff, and I just got.
I'm thinking I could get like an orange shirt and a vest and a helmet, and I could be Porkins. And you could be the Sith in your ship, and we could be fighting each other. So it's just something to think about.
I need to get a green screen again so I could.
Yeah.
Shit like that, like I used to.
I have a green screen. I just never hang it up. That's actually what the backdrop hangs on, is a frame for a green screen. I will say that's what the girlfriend said. She was like, why don't you just use the green screen? I'm like, I like my thing, but
it's at least back when I messed with it like 4 years ago, like it took a bit to kind of get it right, but and once you started working with it, and you have the lighting is you got super important.
Yes.
Again, that was years ago, so by now, I don't know. I think you could do it out of thin air, depending on the software.
Right. So, yeah,
go for it.
Yeah. All right. Maybe I'll think of something. Maybe I'll do a video that plays while we're talking. Dancing girls. That'll get more people to watch us. All right. We got some news and rumors to talk about. So that means I got to play this to make Don happy. All right. Well, we got a couple new, they're really rumors around Spider-Man Brand New Day. The first one's probably the bigger one to you, Don, and a little more important to talk about. But the current rumor now is that Sadie Sink will be playing, wait for it, Jean Grey in Brand New Day, making her obviously Jean Grey, the mutant for the MCU. I don't know how much I put into this rumor. This is, of course, one of those scoopers online who said that in the movie you don't know who she is through most of the movie, and then the last third, I think they said, it's revealed her name is Jean, and then she has the same powers as Jean Grey. What do you think?
This sounds very feasible to me, and I think this is part of kind of the rumors that I've been hearing that Sony and Marvel are kind of opening up more, and they're kind of trading card characters a little bit. And I did hear that they did want some X-Men. So
okay.
And Sadie Sink, I did not watch Stranger Things, although the rest of my family did. I cannot attest to her acting ability. But she does seem to be a good fit, age-wise, and obviously there is some acting ability there. So I like it, actually. I like it. Now, the only question I do have about it, though, is if you have Jean Grey in a Spider-Man movie, and let me know, chat, if this is just my X-Men bias, or put it down in the chat if you have some insight to add. But you put Jean Grey in a movie, nothing else is going to matter. Nobody's going to walk out of the movie talking anything about, wow, Jean Grey. And believe me, I know that Spider-Man is Marvel's walking, talking flagship. Okay, I realize that. But we've got a lot more Spider-Man as of recent that just anything X-Men-ish now, I feel, is just going to make the internet, or whatever we call this now, just, ablaze. And if she truly has the Jean Grey powers, then what? She's an Omega level mutant. What, I don't understand what in Spider-Man's world is even going to threaten her. Again, I like the idea. I like the fact that it's going to be ambiguous and they just say Jean, but it leaves a lot of questions to me that, of course, I just mentioned.
Well, I mean, the one thing is, this has been revealed before. There's a contract with part of the contract with Sony is at least one major Marvel character has to be in every Spider-Man movie aside from the Spider-Man characters. That's why Iron Man was in so many, and Doctor Strange was in the last one. So, like, in that regards, like, I could believe it. However, the original rumors was she was the villain. They didn't, I can't remember what character they said. It was a more modern Spider-Man villain. They believe that she was. There was that partial leaked trailer that came out, which I don't know if anyone saw it. It's a shot of a laptop, and the footage itself is grainy, and it's only a couple seconds long. And whoever she is, she's like flying in the sky, and she's like saying something threatening to Spider-Man. So, but again, it could have been AI, and they did the grainy footage to be so you tell that it was AI. Like, obviously, that's the world we live in. We won't know till the trailer comes out if that was true or not. But that being said, as well, I don't have X-Men bias like you, but I have a weird feeling like I don't, in my opinion, this isn't how you introduce Jean Grey. Like, she's not the character to like just throw in a Spider-Man movie to introduce the X-Men. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, does the movie end with a bald guy in a wheelchair coming up and saying, "I can help you"? Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, maybe not. The other thing is too, because we talked about this a little bit, I think, in the last episode, is so if they make her more or less the villain of the movie, something happens and she has to do something untoward, as it were, and she becomes the villain through her actions, not necessarily being a bad person. That sets up, you find out she's a mutant, people hating the mutants in the MCU, because the X-Men don't work unless people hate them. Like that is, because they're an allegory for the civil rights movement. It doesn't work if if they're not hated. So you have to do something to make them hate it. So in that sense, I know I'm going back and forth, but in that sense, then it does make sense. Like, she does something, it goes against Spidey, and then so now it's like, she's a mutant. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're gonna do that, why Jean Grey again? Because, well, if it's early, she's not at her full power yet, right? She doesn't have the full, like when Jean Grey first was introduced, she had what was it? Some telepathy and mind reading abilities, but like
she did,
she was
but
a weaker version of Professor X in the early books.
But she wasn't weaker because that she was weaker. She was weaker because Xavier, did shit to limit her. So that's one of my questions: is if you have a teenage Jean Grey, and they could, this is the Marvel cinematic universe, so they can make it different. But I'm just saying, historically with the comics though, and even established in the Fox X-Men movies, it was very young when she was flipping shit out, and Xavier had to come intervene.
Yes.
So,
and I don't.
But they could redo it.
Again, I don't discount that. I'm just saying that I don't know. I feel like,
I mean, I understand what you're saying about the X-Men. If the protecting those and fighting for those that hate and fear them, that's a very big part of the X-Men for me.
Yeah.
But they do certainly have their eras, and we mentioned about Cyclops and his terrorist, so there's definitely been X-Men eras where it's like, we're fighting for survival, so that has not always been the focus. But, that is when they're at their best. But it's hard to hate them in the MCU because all these super people are accepted.
Right.
So,
right. So you have to do something to make them hate it. The other thing you can do is bring in a character like Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Where he doesn't look like a person. He looks weird. So, people don't.
And that's what they'll probably lean on, Dave, is, the persecution of the mutants that aren't pretty. And that's a thing in the X-Men comics, certainly. Absolutely.
Right.
Look at Glob Herman. He's just like a big, person-shaped jelly with innards that you can see. His freaking eyeballs floating about,
Poor Herman.
Rock slides like a more jaggedy gray looking thing. Although the cool thing about him is he could just make himself explode and just destroy a bunch of shit and then just reform. But anyway.
Yes. So
but yeah, Sadie Sink, Jean Grey, plausible, I think. But I don't know.
Plausible, but we'll see. Yeah.
And you're right. That's not how I want to learn about Jean Grey.
And we won't know till the trailer. And the rumor, this is another quote unquote rumor, that we will be getting the trailer imminently. This is another quote unquote insider on X said there's been movement from Sony. Hearing a trailer release may be imminent. No date yet, as far as I know, but the recent movements make me think it could be within a matter of days. Time will tell. Here's the thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I call bull because the matter of days thing, because I think we live in I get it. We live in a world where things can just come out online whenever they want, and I know that movie companies have done that before, but this is one that's going to be wrapped up in some other event. Is there another Sony movie coming out? I'm not sure off the top of my head. But there is something
I
coming
totally agree with you that there's a big event coming up very
in a few.
soon
Yes, in a few
that's
weeks.
famous for commercials and trailers now.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
and I've been thinking that I've been thinking that for a while that they were going to release it with the Super Bowl. You know, I also thought Doomsday would be strictly Super Bowl, but they gave us teasers with Fire and Ash, the Avatar movie. So
Yeah.
okay.
$1 billion movie.
So they got which also makes me sit there think even more like, oh, okay, Spider-Man will be with the Super Bowl because, well, they already gave us the Avengers trailer. Like, we don't have to worry about Marvel competing with itself at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm sure they will show those teasers during the Super Bowl, but like, you know, at the halftime or whatever, when they usually have the big trailer reveals, that's when you'll get
I don't know, Dave. I don't know. That's a lot of money. A lot of money.
You're saying Sony doesn't have the money to do that?
I mean, having the money and needing to spend it are two different things, I guess. And with all these companies that, you know, all we need to make this or break even, like, you know, it's already hard enough for movies in general. Don't make it harder. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although that does remind me, I was thinking that while we're at New York Comic Con this year, I heard that you, for like a couple $100, you can actually have an ad in Times Square pop up for like 15 seconds. It goes through a loop, you know, for 24 hours. Not loop, but anyway, that would be put our superhero speak up there. You know, take a stupid selfie in front of it or something.
Ah.
You know.
Yeah. How do you get that? Who do you talk to?
I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
Well, that's your homework.
I heard that they do that though, that you can literally, like, as a tourist,
no,
like pay.
I have heard that too, that believe it or not, like some of the digital ads in Times Square and different places in New York aren't as expensive as you think they would be. But again, it's because they play so money and they loop through them. Like, you might only be up there for a couple seconds.
Right,
but,
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I've heard that before too. Yeah.
Anywho.
All right.
They don't need to spend so much in advertising though. Come on.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, and then we'll have to design a nice.
We're gonna go see a Spider-Man movie, I assure you. Is there? Let me know in the chat. Are you the type of person will you not watch Spider-Man movie unless you see a commercial for it? Let me know in the comments.
I want to know, and I want to expand that. Are you the kind of person that would not go to a movie blind unless you've seen a teaser or trailer for it? Because I know quite a few people that are the opposite with movies they know they're going to see, right? Like, there are people that are going to go see Spider-Man that don't want to see anything before they go see it. But you know, are there people that are today that are like, I mean, and yeah, you can easily say that with any Marvel movie or DC movie or whatever, like, you know, you're going to go see it, so you don't need to see something beforehand. But, you know, maybe the new Avatar movie, you had to see a trailer before you decided if you wanted to go see it or not. You know, I don't know. It's a good question. I wish Mark Ellis was watching us. He'd have an answer. All right. Well, let's move on to the last article related to Doomsday. And recently on the Graham Norton show, do you ever? Okay, have you ever seen the Graham Norton show?
This is the first time hearing that name.
It's oh my god, he's a British, they call them presenters, but he hosts talk shows. He's also a comedian, and he has this talk show on BBC. If you've never seen it, like, I recommend watching him. You know, he's very campy, he's very funny. He's one of the first people. When I watched his show, I was like, oh, this is the kind of format that, like, if I was a podcaster and I wanted to do a talk show, I would kind of do it, you know. And I'm not talking about the stuffy, like they're sitting like Bill Maher does his little show where they're sitting in the easy chairs and they're drinking brandy or whatever. Like, no, they're on a couch and it's like a talk show set, but all the guests come out together and they just have a conversation. There's no like set of like, I'm going to ask you this, this, and this. I'm sure there's beats they hit, you know, if they're promoting something, whatever, they make sure they talk about it. But for the most part, they're just kind of having a conversation, like, and everyone's involved in the conversation. It's not, I bring out guest one, I talk to them, they promote the thing. Now guest two comes in, I talk to them. Like, everyone comes out at once, and everyone, whatever they're talking about, everyone participates, and it's fun. But anyway, I digress. If you've never seen it and you have access to watch BBC, check it out. So the three actors that were on were I want to make sure I say this right. Wanomi Mosaka, Idris Elba, and Martin Freeman, who were on promoting Hunter B-15 together. And I'm sorry, we're promoting a movie together. And then of course Graham asked them, "Oh, are you going to be in Doomsday?" And they went, "No, no one's talked to us. As far as we know, we're not in it." And it's just like, Martin Freeman was in the last Wakanda movie, and he's a minor character in the Black Panther verse. He, you know, was he even in Infinity War? I don't remember. He's not in Endgame.
If he was, I don't remember either, so it had to be a small part.
He's not in Endgame at all, and I don't think he's in Infinity War.
I don't believe he's in any Avengers movie.
Right. Unfortunately, Idris Elba's character has died in the MCU. He was killed.
Heimdall. They showed him in Valhalla. Yep.
And the other actress is again from the Wakanda movies, but she was a minor. I believe she's a minor character. So it's just like, I brought this up because I have this thing where, again, I like Graham Norton, but I feel like he asks a question like that just as a conversation point. But I kind of feel like they need to stop that. You know, what do you think? Like, just because you've been in one Marvel movie, oh, are you in the big Marvel movie that's coming up? Like, you know, because A, if they are, they're not allowed to reveal it. And B, if they aren't, is it kind of embarrassing for the actor? Like, oh no, they didn't ask me to be in it, you know? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure it is embarrassing for the actor, and I don't know why the MCU gets this all the time. I mean, you know, it's like they sit people down. You know, Martin Freeman, you know, he should have asked him, well, why didn't he ask him why you're going to be in the next Lord of the Rings movie? Or, you know, when they do the Silmarillion, are you going to be in that? You know, but it's always this Marvel people they expect to show up, and that's just that's got to be annoying all around. It's like, why should they be in even these characters that they speak of? Like, why realistically would these characters be in this big event where, you know, space for characters is at a premium?
Right.
So, what are you doing here? But he's got time to kill, so I mean, I get it. But it is really kind of a jab at the actor. I don't know. He kept saying, I'm just trying to get an exclusive. Like, oh, really? That's what you thought was going to happen? I'll be like, yes, that's right. Heimdall's back. You know, no, like, so yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb, and I'm sure it is a degree of embarrassing, which I don't think they deserve.
And it's funny. Out of the three, Idris Elba is the one I could see most likely as a flashback type character, or
he's technically still alive in the DCU and could, you know.
Oh, that's true in Suicide Squad. But yeah, but I'm saying, like, I could see him or
which apparently happened.
you
in the
know,
new
somehow Thor gets a glimpse into Valhalla during Doomsday and
Right.
sees them, or something, you know, or an alternate universe version of them. But like, no
But
one
it's the
cares
same as
about.
being like, "Hey, did you get any of that paycheck? Huh? Did you get that paycheck? Oh no, okay." You know, come on.
Exactly. Um,
They'll tell you. They'll say, "Hey, I'm excited to be in." You know,
yeah.
and I'm getting angry at them. Stuff.
Yeah, and here's the and here's something too. I forgot. I wanted to bring this up, and this is something that's highly annoying. Marvel has a live stream on their channel now. Did you see this?
No.
So, I think a week ago it went up, and all it is that countdown clock for Doomsday. It's just a live stream showing the countdown clock. And
yes, I'm sorry. I am aware of that. Yes.
now hold on. I want to see something while
We're
I
gonna see if it's still
believe
there. I'm sure it is. Why not?
I believe it's getting more views
Then
than, you know, than we're getting. And
yeah.
I'm not too happy about that. There are currently 365 people possibly watching just simply a clock counting down to Doomsday. Now, here's the thing. I will say they have had weird live streams before, and things
Mhm.
happened during the live stream that were like funny or whatever, or possibly hinting at things coming up. There was a one with Hugh Jackman as
Right.
Wolverine, and he just kept doing different poses, and then things would happen every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I'm calling shenanigans. I think Marvel's got bots watching it because it's been consistently around 300. So I think they're paying. I can't believe there's 365 people that
Mm.
just have that clock open up on their computer.
No, that doesn't. No, I actually kind of totally get that, dude. Like, because there's all those people. It's probably always there. They probably literally don't never turn their computer off for the most part, and they probably have a monitor, and it just they're such a fan, or they just when people come over, oh, what's that? Oh my god, ha ha ha! You just
There,
people
there,
have
there,
way more monitors than they need, so
there,
I could see.
and there are
Go ahead.
people that are live chatting while this is going on.
Well, yeah, that too, and so it's kind of a social hangout place. Like, dude, it makes total. I know that I've seen streams where it's literally just somebody's doing like they designed a room aboard a Star Wars starship that you could just put on and chill, and just watch the stars go by and shit. Like, there's all sorts of corners in the internet. ASMR. It's just one of those things, and yeah, no, I could say it's 300,000. I mean, compared to all the people on YouTube, it's a relatively small number. I don't know. I get it. I mean, I certainly wouldn't do it. And I understand, it does prove, and I wouldn't expect anyone to take this well. It does prove that we are not as interesting as a doomsday clock. You just have to accept it and move on and try harder, I guess. But I do get it, actually. I get it. People do dumb shit and just leave stuff up because they have 18 monitors.
Yeah. Well, I just
Batman.
I just messaged the chat over there. You guys should check out the live stream at Superhero Speak.
There you go. Yep.
So
we're talking trash about you. No.
Oh, we were. Damn it. Hopefully none of them see that. All right, let's move on to DC news here.
All right.
Really just have one DC article that I wanted to bring up because it annoyed me to my core when I saw it. James Gunn, the head of the DCU, was recently asked in an interview, did he have any casting information or ideas for Batman Brave and the Bold, which has been announced. That's going to be the Batman movie. And he said two things in his response. The first one is, I don't want to make any decisions like that until we have a workable script. So I don't know what a workable script means, but he said we're some time away from that. And two, also, we're in the middle of the Batman 2, and I don't want to do anything that messes with the Batverse or the Batosphere. Boy, that pisses me off. Like, I'm sorry. I just, this idea that we have a separate Batman universe that you're keeping going, so we can't have Batman in the main continuity because this other movie is being made, and oh, God forbid we screw with them. And I said this before. I said this criticism before. I said it again, and it's just gonna kill the DCU. They're moving way too slow. They're and I know we can't play the game of they're playing catch up with the MCU, but they need to produce a little bit more, a little faster, because people are going to lose interest real fast. That's my opinion. What do you think?
I agree that it's annoying. And to think that there could potentially be a Batman in the DCU and then a Batman verse is annoying. And you really would think that you wouldn't dare go too much into your new DC universe without establishing Batman. But I don't blame James Gunn. And we all know how much I'm really not that big of a fan. But I don't really think he has any blame here. I feel that he was told, we need to make money. This Batman universe, whatever you want to call it, is popular and makes money. So yes, we want a whole new DCU, but you've got to work this somehow. And so I could see, so when he says, well, there's not a workable script, what he means is the script doesn't exist. Which does make sense, because if I were James Gunn and I was told this Batman verse has to exist / run its course, I would say, okay, because if this thing tanks, then I'm going to say, okay, we're done with that, right? I can now go forward with the second part of the Oh Holy Trinity of the DC comic book universe. Okay, great. If it remains to be popular, I think that is when he is going to have to make the choice. Okay, we have two fucking Batman. Which it's annoying, but it is true that with Batman, there is these two dynamics where it's like you got the gritty, street level Gotham Batman, which is cool, everybody likes for good reason. But then you've got the rolling with the Justice League Batman, who uses a way more different skill set. So that's what I think's going on. As much as it would annoy me to have two Batman, it does annoy me, I still kind of get it. I still kind of get the gritty street level and the I'm fucking rolling with gods, But I would much prefer that be the same actor and character. You can just tell two different types of Batman stories.
And I have said that before too, and no one over there wants to listen to me, is that doing this and then having both of them, it just confuses audiences. As much as people want to think, oh, they're all sophisticated and they're all comic book fans and they understand. Like, no, the average person is just like, oh, wait a minute, I thought the Twilight guy was Batman. Why is there now a new guy in a new movie?
The Twilight guy.
So we'll see what happens. And you made an interesting point there, John. Oh my god. Sorry.
Don't you dare.
We should not. I just dead named you. Um You made a very interesting point there, Don. That there are people above James Gunn. He doesn't really have final say in a lot of things, even though he is in charge of the DCU. At the end of the day, there are the money people who still get to say, "Hey, no, you can't do this," or "Hey, we want you to do this," or "We want the." And I think that's an important point to keep in mind as we talk about our main topic here.
Yeah.
So it is official. We talked about this before. It was a rumor last year we talked about, but now it has actually happened. Originally, I think the rumor was it was going to happen later in the year, but it happened this past week.
Yeah.
And that is Kathleen, that Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen Brennan take over Lucasfilm. So Dave Filoni and Brennan will take over the business side of running Lucasfilm, and that's that. I mean, I guess it's that's all. Just a business. No. This, of course, has been all over the internets. People have been saying some crazy things about it. There was one video I was watching, and it's somebody I watch, but when he talks about this stuff, he overhypes it, saying the security walked her out with her box
Right.
from her desk like she was fired. Other things were saying like, yeah, that same kind of thing, like, oh, she originally wasn't going to step down, and they forced her out, blah blah. But the thing is, she supposedly is not in charge of Lucasfilm anymore, but she's going to stay around in a producer capacity for some certain projects. And as we talked about this last year, she's up there. She's in her 70s, I believe. So, she obviously wants to retire. I believe she was working with Lucas and Amblin. She worked with Amblin, if I remember correctly, on like ET. Like, so she's been in the business that long. She's been in the business since the 80s. It's not like she doesn't need the paycheck. So like,
she's George Lucas's handpicked person, by the way.
Right. She was the handpicked person to take over Lucasfilm. It's not like she took over in some kind of bizarre, nefarious way. Like, she was picked to head Lucasfilm. But I guess, okay, first off, Don, were you shocked at all by this news?
No, we knew this was happening. We touched upon it before on the show.
Yeah.
I remember even I mentioned Lin-Wen.
Yeah. So, are you happy with the choice of Dave Filoni to take over?
Absolutely, 100%. I love Dave Filoni. I love everything he does.
Now, here's the important question. Of course, the two biggest properties that are owned by Lucasfilm are Star Wars and Indiana Jones. And you, of all people, you're wearing a Star Wars shirt right now, are the biggest Star Wars fan. I mean, you can put me to shame with your knowledge of Star Wars. What do you think, in all honesty, this means for the future of Star Wars? Like, we could talk about Indiana Jones in a minute, but like, A, short term, and B, long term. What do you think this is going to mean?
I've been really thinking about that, actually. And I think that we're really going to see an expansion of the Dave Filoni lore. So Clone Wars, Rebels, pretty much anything lore related after that. You know,
yeah.
When this happened, you know, everyone ding dong, the witch is dead, you know, and you were talking about that guy making up that shit about being walked out. Like, she's going to be the producer for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie and Star Wars Starfighter.
Yes.
So that's ridiculous to say that she would be walked out, because they would have to let her back in eventually to work to do her job. So that's all very ridiculous.
Yes.
But I really don't see it changing much. I think people are expecting some sort of like hyper-dimensional correction that erases the sequels, and that's just not going to happen.
Exactly.
I do hope that he picks up on that Hunt for Ben Solo idea. I truly do. But, you know, I think that we're going to get a lore expansion, and knowing what Dave Filoni has worked on and how he's expanded and just done an awesome job and told great stories. I just have every faith in the world that he's going to do a great job. I just don't know how all these people that have been critical of Kathleen Kennedy while she makes billions of dollars for the franchise, I just don't know how they're going to react to the fact that that sequel trilogy is not going away.
Right.
It is now part of the lore. And, you know, and listen, Kathleen Kennedy, she had a pretty big job. And I don't think she made all the correct decisions, okay? But I can understand why the decisions were made. So the big rift, I feel, between Kathleen Kennedy, aka Star Wars, and everyone that hates her online is that they wanted, again, Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master badass, you know, young Leia, Han Solo, Ben and Jason Solo. I'm sorry, Jason Jane is Solo. Ben Skywalker, we got Ben Solo. But Disney wanted to move away from the Skywalker legacy in order to make Star Wars a more sustainable story and not just a retreading. You know, they wanted to evolve so that more people could be involved. And that's just not what the majority of the Star Wars fan base wanted. And we've talked about how if you ignore what the original OG fans of something want, you're hurting yourself. And go ahead.
So you had brought this up. We were obviously texting back and forth on this a little bit. And hello, James.
Hey, James, what's going on, man?
You had said that she brought up in an interview or something about how like the fans made her job difficult.
She had said that a low point. She was asked though. I mean, let me clear. You know, I was going to mention that, but yeah, I think one thing that she could have been a little more regal, a more take the high ground. Get it, high ground. Was when she was asked, like, so what, you know, was the low point, was when she said, oh, the enormous expectations of the fans. Because that's what she's referring to, basically, is what I'm talking about. That expectation of the continue where they were. I will put myself in here. I just dealt with the fact that it didn't happen better. Where we really would like the lore to have gone. You know?
So here's what I want to say. Because you brought up all of this stuff that are from the books, the extended universe books that came out after Return of the Jedi.
They were never actually really canon, so I kind of get that. But
right, so I want to, yeah, exactly. I want to step back first and mention that George Lucas has mentioned in many interviews the reason he allowed people to write books post Return of the Jedi is because he never had any plans to visit any stories after that. In his mind, the story ends at the end of Return of the Jedi with the death of Darth Vader. And you know, that's the balance of the Force and blah, blah, blah. He was planning to do the prequels. That was something he had planned for a long time. So, as you just said, in his mind, the guy who created the thing, those books were never canon.
Mm-hmm.
I also would like to point out the fact that, like you just said, the sequel trilogy made billions of dollars, not millions, billions. I think they all made at least $2 billion. So $6 billion for those 3 movies, not counting, you know, Solo and Rogue One and all the other stuff that has come out. So the people that wanted the twins and Luke rebuilding the Jedi Academy are all people who read those books. That's not the majority of people who go see movies. That's a handful of people that read some books. So the problem there is that they're not making the movies for those, let's say, 10 million people. They're making the movies for the 7 billion people on the planet.
Right.
So they can't get caught up in like, oh, well, this happened in this book and this happened in that book.
Mm-hmm.
So like, she wasn't a failure. Like, she made the company money.
Absolutely not. Right.
Yeah, it was these movies were successful.
Gave us Baby Yoda.
Yes. So like her or not, she was a success at her job.
Rogue One, everybody likes that.
Yeah. But that being said, I think Dave Filoni has been working in little things that are from the expanded universe, you know. And I feel like that, and that's
Thrawn
one of the things
being the biggest one.
Oh yeah. And I feel like that's one of the things here is that I feel like this is because let's be honest, moves like this are not decided. This wasn't decided last week.
Right.
This wasn't even decided a month ago. This had been in the works for probably a year or longer.
Right.
I'm going to say this has been in the works for a couple years. I've
straight read articles about the succession planning, which that's corporate, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Modus operandi in the situation. Yeah, that was a while ago.
And that's why they let Dave Filoni like work this stuff in, because he was like, here's my vision for the future of Star Wars, which it feels like he's going to give us stories right now that are in that expanded universe timeline, that are the post Return of Jedi stories, that involve those characters, like Thrawn and whatnot. And is he going to give us the triumphant Luke? You know, because think about the things that are like the biggest complaints, you know, what they did to Luke, you know, Mary Poppins, Princess Leia, without any explanation. You know, so like, and I feel like he's going to correct those things. I don't think. But my only concern is we're not going to get unless we recast, we're not going to get Han Solo, because George Harrison is completely done. Even lending his voice, I don't think he's going to do that at this point for any Star Wars projects.
Well, that's why the only reason he even came back with Star Wars is he's like, I'll come back, but you got to promise me this: fucking kill me.
Yeah,
so I don't have to come back no more.
I mean, I was shocked. I was shocked he came back for the last one. You know,
I think he did it for Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, I think you're right,
and probably even Mark Hamill a little bit. But no, I mean that really is a sore spot for me though. Like I accept the story as is. The looking at the Jedi in a way that's not flattering. Like I get that. They were corrupt and all that. Blah blah blah. And then Luke kind of turning on that idea instead of creating his own Jedi way, but instead he went the hermit route. And it sucks that his character's dead because Mark Hamill still walks the earth, much like Harrison Ford.
Mhm.
But unlike Harrison Ford, he would still play Luke Skywalker if you wanted him to.
Well, again, if you're going to explore the post Return of the Jedi timeline, you can do what we've already gotten. You know, is another actor, the CGI his face on, and he does the voice. Like, and I feel like we're gonna definitely get more of that. I really feel like we're gonna definitely get more heroic Luke. Because here's the thing, like, look,
well, yeah, because we still got the Mandalorian, Grogu, and the like Ahsoka timelines. Like they got shit going on when Luke's still around and young.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it again. It's a morality tale for kids, and you said something. The problem is that you're a Star Wars fan who grew up, and you're like, oh, I want to explore the dark side of the Jedi and whatever. But I really feel like the majority of the people don't. They want to see good Luke Jedi saving the galaxy.
Yeah, no, I do too. I just don't want to like, honestly, this is just like the whole Jedi thing. Like, you would want to be a Jedi if you could, but I wouldn't want to be a Jedi and not be able to like get married, have kids, and like in Luke. And again, this is expanded universe stuff, since he married Mara Jade, like, so that's all. Like, it would just be cool. It would be cool to see Luke, the good guy Jedi, doing all that cool shit. Just don't be like dumb like that Jedi Order and the Jedi Council that fucking denied shit that clearly went on, and let the fucking Sith take over right under their nose. I mean, come on. Hubris, that's a lesson. George Lucas fucking cooks, man. And believe me, anyway.
No, I agree. I think, I mean, here's the thing. Plain and simple, short term, nothing's going to change. Obviously, there's a movie coming out this year, a couple other projects. We've got Starfighter coming out next year. Like, that all remains in place as is. Nothing with that changes at this point, because obviously they're in the works or they're done and there's contracts and all that stuff.
I really would be interested though to know. I wish I was kind of that person that would poke at people on Twitter or social media, but I would really, really love to know Dave Filoni's opinion of the idea of the hunt for Ben Solo.
Well, I think we need to start poking him on social media with that hashtag hunt for Ben Solo. And
I know, but I'm bad at social media.
I know, but we can work on that. maybe I'll
Snyder bot you. The whole Snyderverse has officially been killed. Dark Side has been reappearing back in DC. So let's come on over now.
Let's get the hunt for Ben Solo going.
Start poking for us.
Because again, that was a weird one too. But that also goes back to my other point that I had brought up earlier and I didn't allude on is you said it, and I think this is an important thing to remember, is that even though Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, whatever, they're in charge of Lucasfilm, there are people above them that are making decisions. Again, that was when we covered that story, it wasn't that Kathleen Kennedy said no because she greenlit the script. It was being it was in pre-production, and it was Disney who came back and said, no, we don't want you to do that. Which
specifically Bob Iger, because he said, I'm not going to understand how we can bring this person back alive. However, Bob Iger's time is running out as well. So
that's the rumors. We'll see. I mean, again, yes, like I think if Mandalorian Grogu make money, there's a chance to bring that project back to life. So, because heck, why can't I think of his name? The guy who plays Ben Solo,
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver said he wants to do the movie, so there's nothing really to stop you from doing it. Dave Filoni could definitely make that movie. So, Well, that's the thing too. Okay, so let's real quick. Let's end on this thought. James Gunn's biggest complaint lately was, I didn't realize there would be so much administrative running these projects and not being able to actually just write and direct movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wouldn't really just want to write and direct. Is Dave Filoni going to be in the same boat where he's not really going to be able to write and direct these projects like he's been doing? Because he's going to be more in an overseer capacity, and then will that affect the quality of things?
I could already tell you right away no, because if you look at The Mandalorian, I mean, it's all Dave Filoni verse, but he's directing episodes, and he's got Bryce Dallas Howard directing stuff, or Jon Favreau is there.
I was about to say Favreau is the big guy.
Who I mean, he's got other good writers.
Yeah.
That he already works with, and they're already done stellar shit.
There is a very good team on The Mandalorian that I think he's going to lean on for other projects. And
Rodriguez did one episode, right? I mean, there's all sorts. Yeah.
I mean, if Jon Favreau could give us a Star Wars movie in the vein of Elf, I think everyone would be happy.
Call it Jawa.
There you go. Oh my God. You're a genius.
Instead of the icy North Pole, it's the South Pole, the fiery South Pole of Tatooine. Spends the most time under the twin suns.
Yeah. So short term, nothing's going to change. Long term, I think Filoni will lead. He'll definitely lean on those creatives, and I think we're going to see again. He's a big fan of that time frame. He's a big Star Wars fan. He's
a big fan, which is just
he's a big
fan in his work.
And I feel like we'll see. I think we're gonna get another that season 2 hallway scene, Luke Skywalker triumphant return, destroying the bots. I think we're going to get another couple scenes like that. Again, we're not going to get like a Luke Skywalker movie, but I think we're going to get him showing up here and there, saving the day. The guy who shows up last minute and
he's the new Yoda.
There you go. Yeah. So, but that's just my opinion. You've heard Don's thoughts. You let us know in those comments down below. What do you think this means for the future of Star Wars and Indiana Jones? But I don't think anyone cares about Indiana Jones anymore.
No one,
to be honest.
No one, yeah.
You have to recast them because I'm sorry, Harrison Ford is too old to play Indy. Sorry. And until they do that, I just don't do anything with the character. Let's leave him be for a while. So, all right, Don, we did it. We got to that point in the show where we've got to ask that question.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
Tell me, Don, what did you learn? Do you have any recommendations? What do you got?
You know what I learned? And I think it was only just a couple minutes ago, as I mentioned Bryce Dallas Howard. I kind of forget that her father, Ron Howard, he directed Solo, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think I learned that Bryce Dallas Howard is better than her dad at directing Star Wars.
Okay. I will defend Ron Howard in the sense that there was a different movie. They were already like same idea.
I understand.
Same idea. They were doing it more as a comedy. Disney and Lucasfilm saw it and like they didn't like the direction it was going. They fired the director and they hired Ron Howard to take it over. And I don't think they gave him a lot of time to like redo things. They didn't like start from scratch and redo a whole new script. It was the same script, but redoing it not as a comedy. So I will defend, Ron Howard, who's given us movies like Apollo 13. But you're right. Like, he's probably not as much of a Star Wars fan as his daughter as well. So
Yeah. I'm a big fan of hers for multiple reasons. And what I will recommend, since we're talking Star Wars tonight, and Dave was talking about a British show, is look up the comedian's Eddie Izzard, a transgender. It has been for a while though, which is unique. But look at go to YouTube, but since you're on it already, and search for his Death Star bit. It is hilarious, and I think I'm going to watch it here after I'm done. Outside of that, I'm nearly finished with Final Fantasy Tactics Ivlis Chronicles, and boy, does that story slap even harder with voice acting and all the enhancements and accoutrements available. And interesting point is they're now going to do a sequel and even do DLC for this game because it sold so well. They did not expect this at all, but this game is making in 1 month what it's taking other games to make in 3 years. So yeah, we're going to get kind of a Final Fantasy Tactics revival, and I'm here for it. Yeah.
All right. All right. I learned that we both kind of have the same opinion about where it's going to happen with Star Wars. And that's all right, because I don't think we're going to be wrong. I think time will prove us right. It's
been doing that lately,
and we'll be here to gloat. I second your recommendation. Look up Eddie Izzard, Star Wars, a Death Star cafeteria, because that's the bit. It's
You must have a canteen. Anyway, I'm not even.
Yes,
just do it.
Yes. Look it up. It's hilarious. Yeah, and I don't have anything else to recommend. We should be back to our normal day next week. So don't forget to tune in then on Sunday. And until then, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting for? Visit our merch store.